Hello friends, and welcome back to our series of lectures on game theory. So if you remember, in the last class we stopped after defining the Nash equilibrium, and then we saw that how to find Nash equilibrium using the no profitable deviation property. And while I was ending the lecture, I mentioned that there is some nuance involved in the definition of Nash equilibrium itself when we say that the payoff by playing that particular action is greater than equal to, not strictly greater than or not just equal to, greater than equal to. So that nuance is actually about the idea of strict and non-strict Nash equilibrium. So let's see that in this particular lecture. So let's start with our idea of strict and non-strict Nash equilibrium. So it's interesting concept. Let's see. So this is a revisit of the formal definition of Nash equilibrium so that we don't miss anything. So we formally define it as an action profile A star in a strategic game is a Nash equilibrium if for every this will be every player I and every action AI of player I, A star is at least as good as according to player I's preferences as the action profile AI A star not I, in which player I chooses AI while every other player J chooses AJ star. So this is the symbol of interest, that this is greater than equal to, that payoff resulting from playing A star to player I is greater than equal to payoff that results to player I when he plays any other action AI while everyone else plays their equilibrium action for all action AI of player I. So we need to understand that what is the significance of symbol greater than equal to here. So let's see that. Uh, to understand the idea of this symbol greater than equal to, we need to understand the concept of strict and non-strict Nash equilibrium. So let's define them. What is strict Nash equilibrium? So we say that a Nash equilibrium is strict if each player's equilibrium action is better than, focus on this term here, better than all her other actions given the other player's actions. So you can say ceteris paribus. So formally we define it like this: an action profile A star is a strict Nash equilibrium if for every player I we have payoff resulting to player I when he plays A star is strictly greater than payoff when he plays any other action while other players are sticking to their action. Now this is important, that AI is not equal to AI star, means the equilibrium profile, equilibrium action is different from all other actions, and the payoff that he gets from equilibrium action is strictly greater than any other action while other players stick to their actions. So let's take an example and then it will be clearer. So see this game here. We have player 1 has two actions A and B, player 2 has two actions C and D. You see here. So what happens here? Let's go back to our trusted friend OneNote. That will be more colorful here. So see what happens. For first we have to identify what is the Nash equilibrium here. So see, using our deviation property here, if we say 1 0, player 1 can actually deviate to this and remains profitable, means equally profitable. Player 2 can deviate to this 1 RD and remains profitable. So we can find out in this way, that I leave to you as an exercise. We have done that in the last lecture. What about this particular, this profile BD is a Nash equilibrium. You see that there is no profitable deviation. Player 1 deviates to 2, not profitable. Player 2 can deviate to C, that is not profitable. And now see that what is happening about the strictness of the Nash equilibrium. So here the Nash equilibrium action of player 1 is B, that of player 2 is D. Suppose that player 1 says that I would not play B, rather than I would play A. Then he gets 2 from 3. That's a reduction in his payoff. So that's not good idea. What if player 2 says that I will not play D, rather I will play C? Then he will actually move to this place from 3 to 1, and that's not profitable, so this is not working. It means this 3 3, this is the payoff, that is the maximum he is getting. He cannot he is not indifferent between any other action in when they are in equilibrium. So see, this is an example of a strict Nash equilibrium. 3 is strictly greater than 1 and 3 is strictly greater than 2. Okay, so this is an example of a strict Nash equilibrium. So I think you got this idea here. Now what about a non-strict Nash equilibrium? So this will be non-strict if at least one player is indifferent between her equilibrium action and any other action. Given every other player's actions, they are same, ceteris paribus idea. So see here, this is the same game. What I have changed the payoff of player 1 from action A when player 2 is playing D from 2 to 3. Now you see that player 1 is indifferent between playing A and B when player 2 is playing D. So 3 is equal to 3. He is indifferent. So see here, this is a Nash equilibrium, this one, and we have equilibrium actions again B and D. We see that player 1 can actually deviate to A also. I will not say deviate, that's incorrect use actually. Player 1 gets equal payoff from playing 3 also. So he is indifferent between playing A or B when the player 2 has played D. So this is a non-strict Nash equilibrium. So I hope that now you are getting some idea about strict and non-strict Nash equilibrium. So as an exercise, I am posing this to you. Tell me, do we have a strict Nash equilibria or non-strict Nash equilibria in this particular matrix game that you have? So think by yourself, and then I will count to 5 and then I will come back. If you want, you can actually pause the video and figure it out by yourself rather than watching me telling it. So see, first we need to find, do we have an Nash equilibria here? Yes, we have. We have a Nash equilibria in form of TL, because here deviation is not profitable. For every other pair, deviation is profitable. Now see, when player 2 is playing L, player 1 is indifferent between playing T and B because he gets same payoff from both these actions. So this is a non-strict Nash equilibrium, right? So we say this is a non-strict one rather than a strict one. Now comes the question, can strict and non-strict Nash equilibria coexist? So again the answer should be yes, because the definition itself actually makes it possible that they can coexist when they are saying that greater than equal to. So see this particular game, here we have two Nash equilibria. So let's go back to one note and see whether how many Nash equilibria do we have here. So see, we have actually two Nash equilibria by using the deviation property. One is this, another is this. So I can write the equilibrium actions. This is A, C, and this is B, D. Now let's see which one of these is strict and which one is non-strict. So player 1 is playing B and he cannot play A and get the same payoff. So he is not indifferent between A and B when the player 2 is playing D. Similarly, player 2 is playing D and getting a payoff of 2 when player 1 is playing B. The alternative payoff is only 0 when he plays C. So player 2 is also not indifferent between D and C when player A is playing B. So this is a strict Nash equilibrium, right? What about this one, AC? You see that player 1 can actually deviate to B. He can deviate to B and get an equal payoff. This deviation I showed a bit too much. So this is the deviation. He gets equal payoff. Similarly, player 2 can do anything. No, player 2 cannot deviate profitably. So see here, this is AC is a non-strict any. So you see that both strict as well as non-strict Nash equilibria can coexist in a game. So in this particular lecture, we discussed the idea of strict and non-strict Nash equilibria. We realized that this symbol greater than equal to plays a important role, a crucial role in defining Nash equilibrium and their types. So when we have a strict equal greater than, then we have strict Nash equilibria. When we have greater than equal to, that brings in the possibility of non-strict Nash equilibria also, where the players are indifferent between their equilibrium action and any other action, ceteris paribus. Whenever I am saying ceteris paribus, this means keeping everything else constant. That is saying that every other player plays their equilibrium action. Now, this also gives us possibility that both strict and non-strict Nash equilibria can coexist. So that's all for today's lecture. I suggest that you draw some matrix games and then try to see that do they have strict Nash equilibria, non-strict Nash equilibria. Try to make a game where you have both equilibrium coexisting. That will be a good exercise to do. Thank you.